Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We used to be joined by the owner of SS Greenlight Racing. That, of course, is Bobby Dotter. How's it going?
Real good. Glad to be here again.
Let's talk about, of course, your team made an announcement earlier this week that that Blaine Perkins will be driving the 07 car full time in 2023. Just kind of talk about that and what the outlook is for the team this coming season.
Well, we're really excited to have Blaine as part of our team now. We actually talked a couple of years ago at Phoenix, him and his dad and me, and we talked about trying to do something, and the timing just wasn't right. So for the last couple of years, the Xfinity races he's run, I've kind of kept an eye on him and seen that he does a really good job and the limited amount of races he has. So when he was available this winter here, I pursued that, and we were able to get a deal put together.
Yep. And also, you guys are back with Chevrolet as well. Of course, you're going to be getting engines from RCR. What's kind of that going to be like, trying to convert all the cars? Of course, you guys ran Ford last year. What's that transition kind of been like?
Well, it's obviously expensive and time consuming, but we had a great year last year. I'm glad we did it and tried it, but just didn't have the resources this year to keep everything in the Ford camp. So ECR has been fantastic to deal with. I've dealt with them for about 5 years off and on now, and I'm very happy to be back in the family with them and looking forward to having some real solid engines this year.
Yeah, for sure. You, of course, bringing in someone like Mike Hillman Sr. to be Blaine's crew chief. What's that going to be like?
Well, believe it or not, Mike was my crew chief back in the mid '90s when I won my only Busch Series race, and the Hillmans and Daughters, we have a relationship through all the years, our families and stuff. So it's just been really nice to get him back here working for me, and something I never really expected to happen. But when he was available and we sat down and talked, and Blaine Perkins sat down and met with him, he just felt like he was the right attitude, the right stuff. And there's no doubt about his knowledge and stuff like that to give this team what it needed for a rookie driver like Blaine.
Yep. Let's talk about the '08 car. What's that looking like?
Well, we're definitely running it, and I've kind of been holding out a little bit, trying to find one driver that can run the whole season. I've got a lot of different people that have talked to me about running 10 races or 5 races and this and that. And it's just very difficult, as competitive as the Xfinity Series has got, to piece together changing drivers like that, seats, setups. So I'm holding out for a while yet, trying to see if we can come up with one. We've got probably 3 real solid prospects that are all very close to maybe putting together deals to have the funding to do it. So we're going full steam ahead. We've kept that car going all winter. At this point, we're going to run a Chevrolet at Daytona. We know that for sure. But beyond that, we'll be running probably a mix of Fords and Chevys, just because I've got all that equipment, and I own a number of ECR motors, and I own a number of Roush Yates motors. So I've got the equipment here to do it a little more inexpensively if we run a mixture of cars, if I can't find the big budget.
Okay. Of course, talking about some of the changes with Xfinity this year, there is an upcoming test as well. What's that going to be like? Of course, kind of the cars are going to change a little bit too.
Well, they've rear ends in the cars and making the cars go straighter down the straightaway. So it's definitely been a big change. Between my 2 teams, I probably own 20 cars, and every single one of them needed a brand new rear end housing, and most of them needed a new left side truck arm because they've also outlawed a short truck arm over there, trying to stop the rear end from moving around so much. So it's been a very expensive winter, that's for sure, trying to get all the cars switched around. But I'm kind of hopeful that maybe it's actually little bit of a level field for like Blaine, where he doesn't have a ton of experience, where maybe some of the more experienced Xfinity drivers really know that feel of the rear end being turned out like that. And for him not knowing that so much, maybe this will be a equalizer.
Yeah. So kind of talking about this for a second, I know if you don't find a full-time guy for the '08, do you think that you could put, like, if cup drivers come in there and do that like we saw last year with Chase Briscoe and Cole?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to still do some of that if I could, with them adding Cole Custer to the mix this year, it's kind of made their resource a little more slim for running extra races like we did last year. But it's certainly not out of the question. We're, still very, very good relationship with Stewart Haas Racing. Joe Custer's been so helpful to me. We're still going to do some things together throughout the year. So I'd love to see it happen if I don't have a full-time driver. If I do find the full-time driver and try to run for points and get in the top 20 like the ultimate goal would be, well, then that's probably not really as feasible.
Is David Starr possibly coming back to the organization?
No, David's been talking to some other teams, and we just didn't have a real good year last year together. So sometimes it's just time for change. David's been here 3 or 4 times, and we've had some excellent runs together, some excellent luck. But last year just didn't. The Ford switch for us was a little tough on that team, and we just didn't seem to come up with the right package that David needs to be comfortable and to run as well as he has in the past for us. So I think he's looking at other opportunity.
And talking about parting ways with Joe Graff Jr., you also announced that before the Blaine deal.
And it's kind of a similar situation. We've been together 3 years, fantastic family. Joe Jr. is a great driver, but we just can't seem to get over that hump. We were stuck back there in the 20 area, and he wants to be in the top 10. I would like to see us closer to the top 10. So it just was time for change again, and no hard feelings. It's hopefully going to be a better situation that he puts himself in, and he can get the success he deserves. And we're ready for a new rookie. Had a lot of rookies through the years go through here, and when you see what Ross Chastain did last year, and he started out his career here in our shop, it just makes you really feel good about seeing somebody achieve that kind of success that you were a small part of helping them get started.
Talking about trying to get with the situation with points and everything and stuff, are you acquiring anything or anything like that? Or both cars good to go?
No, the 07, is 24th in points, and we're hoping that's going to be good if we need it for Blaine. But with ECR Motors and that, we're going to Daytona loaded for bear. I mean, the last 2 or 3 times we've been to Daytona with ECR Motors, we've qualified in the top 10, ran in the top 10. So I feel real comfortable that we're okay to make it on time. Now, the 08, on the other hand, it's back in 31st in points, and we are not acquiring any points. So the driver is definitely going to have to get up on the wheel and make sure that they get us in the races by speed.
Yeah. And of course, heading into Daytona, this is going to be one of the most competitive Xfinity seasons to date. What's the outlook for this coming year?
Well, like I said, it depends who the driver ends up being over there. I'd love to. 2 of the 3 drivers I'm talking to are veteran type drivers that have a good experience level, and I really think can put us in the battle to be in that top 20, and maybe things went extremely good, be even looking at the chase or something. But when you bring in a rookie and stuff, and they're learning tracks and things are different, and it could be a little bit more of a tougher battle. But the rookie that I'm talking to has some really excellent credentials, and I really think they could do a good job if we can find the funding for them.
All right. Well, Bobby Dodder, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck this coming season.
Well, thanks for having us. Like I said, I always look forward to talking to you. And like I said, we're very excited to open a new chapter for SS Greenlight Racing and hopefully put together some good results.